Morning, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Morning Heart Devotion. Hope you had a wonderful night's rest. It's snowing here in New York. Let's start off by offering a greeting about our heavenly parents and true parents. 전진 참모님께 경배. 바로. Now to lead us through the family pledge, I'd like to invite up Reverend Milhan Stevens.
가정맹세 1. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조의 상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 충신, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과 황족권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조의 상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 천혜의국 시대를 맞이하여 절대신앙, 절대사랑, 절대복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상천국과 천상천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you, Reverend Milhan Stevens. And now to open us up in prayer, I'd like to ask Yoko Ngoma, if you'd please open us up in prayer.
Please join me in prayer. 사랑하시는 하늘 부모님, 선하신 존재인 참 부모님, our dear heavenly parents and true parents, thank you so much for this day. We are so grateful to gather together, centering on heavenly parents, true parents, and Dr. Yon. We are receiving a lot of love and guidance every day, continuously. Heavenly Parent, true mother is coming to America very soon. We know we are really not enough, even we offer our sincere devotion to welcome her. But we really would like to unite with true mother's heart, true parents' heart, your heart. We really want to understand your heart to love and save all the people around us. Heavenly Parent, we are going to receive today's message from you through Dr. Yon. Please open our hearts and receive your love and guidance. And we want to revive ourselves and we want to revive others. Heavenly Father, thank you so much. I report this in the name of Sangoma Yoko, presenter family. 아주
땡큐 요코상 요코 음고마상 감사합니다. 땡큐.
Thank you, Yoko-san, for opening us up with such a beautiful prayer. Brothers and sisters, we're going to go into our gratitude sharing this morning. Let's take the next few minutes to zero ourselves and share anything that we are grateful for. And we'll see you all in 7 minutes. Otmar corrected me yesterday. In 7 minutes, we'll see you all. Welcome back from your breakouts, everyone, and welcome back from reflecting on your gratitude if you're joining us online. We're going to go into gratitude sharing. I had the opportunity to be with Frank Davis and Misayo Bien from New Jersey. I'd like to first ask Misayo-san if you could please unmute and share with us your gratitude points this morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Dr. Yan, everyone. Thank you so much for all of your dedication. But yesterday, we had a very interesting experience. We went to three of us went to Church of God and the Saints of Christ. Usually that they church, they have a service in Sunday, but they keep Sabbath from Friday evening sundown to Sunday sundown. So it was the 44th church anniversary. The Reverend Isaac artist. So that church was a special church. Our dear brother, he passed Reverend Onishi. He took care of that church for a long time. So because of that, Pastor, Reverend artist, he had a really special feeling towards us. We had such a good time, but really alone, many, it would look like a kind of Jewish tradition they keep, but the Christian, they believe in God and believing in Jesus. Such a, and then their dedication, such a service is such a long time. Saturday, especially Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, the evening, like a sundown, like a 4:35, 5 o'clock. But it just such a warm feeling, welcome with all the same uniform, ladies, and the uniform that the men's uniform there. So really, there's people who are really kind of dedicated such a long time and a long hours, and they really interesting the worship they had it. But really more kind of a great thing is we three of us united visit there, and also really our dear brother Dr. Jenkins really helped us to kind of support for that their event, also give a message too. Really, I felt such a good feeling and I really appreciate with our cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you, Misayo Pien-sang, for your outreach activity. Thank you. 감사합니다.
Misayo-san, for sharing with us. Next, I'd like to call on an awesome couple from the Northeast, Spase and Kathy Kase, to share with us any gratitude points they have this morning.
Thank you, Reverend.
I don't have an answer for that.
Good morning, everybody. This morning, we were both super grateful to join live for the first time today. We've been doing Facebook for a while, and we felt a good push. Seeing my family on here, having such a wonderful experience from Canada, and seeing the Portalans is always on here. And we decided to start a 40-day condition to wake up at 5 a.m. to read Mother's words through her biography. And I think that pushed us even more to join live and be a part of our global community. So we're so happy to see everyone this morning, Reverend Young and all of our brothers and sisters. And it's been a good experience so far.
Wow, it is really, really, really exciting to see your couple today. Okay, let's go to your husband.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Yes, very grateful that I have a wonderful wife, very vertical, and you know, with having children we always feel self-conscious to join, and they're gonna cry, and we have to run to get them because they're very young. But we said we want to be part of this wonderful community, and we are so blessed to have Reverend Young, you know, who is teaching the tradition and the word, and we want to become the word. So
Wow.
We're very grateful to be here and participate and support each other. So thank you.
Thank you, Spase. And Katie, are you Filipino?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Filipino girl. Thank you. Thank you, Spase and Katie Kase. 감사합니다. Welcome joining our morning fundoke by live. 감사합니다.
Thank you.
Thank you, Spase and Kathy. I think now we got the whole Alone squad on morning devotion now. Brothers and sisters, on to our main message today. Blessed with prayer, hearts and minds to receive our heavenly inspiration to our beloved Dr. Chun-Chik Young.
안녕하세요. Good morning, my dear brothers and sisters, clergy and ambassador for peace. 안녕하십니까? Around last 1 week, I just captured at the New York hotel. I really have a longing heart to see my dear brothers and sisters. Today, I'd like to speak with the title, Giving Birth to the Heavenly World, from the contents through Mother's memoir. The title of this sermon is the last part of True Mother's memoir. If you study for 3 days more, you will be able to finish all the contents of True Mother's memoir. I sincerely thank Heavenly Parents for being able to study all the contents of True Mother's memoir before True Mother come to America. I'd like to invite Heavenly Honey, please read.
Over the decades, I have kept a particular photograph close to my heart. When I close my eyes, I can clearly see it. It is of a woman with a little girl on her back holding the Korean flag. It was taken in the market of Anju, my hometown. The woman's face is flush with desperation, and it looks as if she wants to grab onto someone and plead her difficult situation. The images of my maternal grandmother, Jo Won Mo, carrying her daughter, my mother, Hong Sune, on her back, as she took part in the independence movement on the first day of March in 1919. My maternal uncle used to tell me stories as we looked at that photo. Unfortunately, we did not bring it with us when we fled the North. It is probably safe somewhere in my hometown. And there was a very similar photograph of Grandmother Jo waving the Korean flag. But this one was taken August 15th, 1945. And in that photo, it is me she is carrying on her back. This time, her face is filled with joy, and she looks ready to embrace everyone she meets. Her expressions in those two photos contrast the sorrow of losing one's nation with the joy of gaining it back. Our sorrow over having lost God's world is soon to transform into the joy of gaining it back.
As you know already, the motto of True Mother's lifelong faith was what her grandmother said. True Mother always lived with the words, "Your Father is God," in her heart. I think, Mother really, that is her motto, is always give her incredible strength and power. God is my Father. No matter in any kind of a situation, she absolutely keep her motto. God is my Father. And True Mother's lifelong wish was how to relieve the sorrow of God, who lost everything due to the fall of man. It is to build the kingdom of God that is Chun 19. So mother's motto and wish of faith should become the motto and wish of our faith. The path is the shortcut to becoming a child of God. And today, let's study through Mother's Speech World Summit 2020, February 4, 2020, very much related to today's True Mother Speech. Please.
For the past 6,000 years, humanity has been like orphans, parentless. Humans have been living in a self-centered way, so they could not see the whole and thus have been creating many problems. Today's climate issue is one of these problems. If we leave this as it is, what is going to happen? The earth would have no future. Even now, if we can become one in attending our Heavenly Parent, ask for his wisdom and enable him to work, we can restore the earth to the beautiful state from when God created it. Let us ask God, how can we do that? Please guide us, and we will do as you say. I wish to encourage this kind of movement. All nations' problems are the same. If those in every nation become our Heavenly Parent's children, no more wars or conflicts will arise. No longer will we have large and small countries. We are learning many lessons from the coronavirus outbreak. Heaven will not bless human beings' self-centeredness. The only way to receive heaven's mercy and love is to become one with true mother, the only begotten daughter, who will guide you to the Creator, our Heavenly Parent. Distinguished guests and leaders here today, now we know who God, the Creator, is. We also know what the mission of the Messiah is. Now, what must we do? What do we need to do? We need to take the path to become true filial sons, filial daughters, and patriots in front of our Heavenly Parent. Please remember, that is the only way and the shortest path to solve all the problems of the world today. That all of you who have gathered at this World Summit will be leading players who realize Heavenly Parent's dream and humanity's wish of creating the kingdom of heaven on earth by saving the world through peace is my hope.
Thank you, Heavenly Honey. Living divine principle, the life of dual characteristics. Today, my brothers and sisters, I'd like to talk very important thing, how to apply the principle of dual characteristics to our daily life. Please listen carefully.
For example, a human being is composed of an outer form, the body, and an inner quality, the mind. Here, mind is the internal nature and body is the external form. Since the body may be understood as a second mind, together they constitute the dual characteristics of a human being. Similarly, all beings exist through the reciprocal relationships between their dual characteristics of internal nature and external form.
Thank you. Now, how do you apply the principle of dual characteristics to your life? Not every word should be left as a theory or dogma. When the word of divine principle is connected with my life, I gain strength and incredible power. The life of dual characteristics. God possesses dual characteristics of internal nature, which is 성상, and external form, which is 형상. God possesses dual characteristics of yang and yin. The relationship between God and me is the relationship of internal nature and external form, and the relationship of yang and yin is the relationship between body and mind. If God is internal nature, I am external form. If God is the mind, I am the body. Also, if God is yang and I am yin, as the body is the second mind, I am second God. Therefore, if God and I are in the relationship of dual characteristics, God and I are in an inseparable relationship. Dual characteristics have an eternally inseparable relationship. A life of forming a relationship with God to the level where God is me and I am God is the life of dual characteristics. What does dual characteristics means? It is an inseparable relationship. You cannot separate your mind and body, right? Where there is a mind, there is a body. Where there is a body, there is a mind. So mind and body is an inseparable relationship, which is the relationship of the dual characteristics. So same things, you cannot separate between your mind and body. Same things, you cannot separate between God and yourself. Where there is a God, there is a you. Where there is a you, there is a God. That's why dual character, the relationship of dual characteristics means inseparable relationship, no matter what. Cannot separate forever. That's why I often say, this is not just only normal destiny. This is what? Unchanging destiny. I can say absolute destiny. Cannot separate. You cannot separate your mind and body. You cannot separate, okay, and God and yourself. Why? According to divine principle, between human being and God is the relationship of the dual characteristics. Dual characteristics means what? You cannot separate. Inseparable relationship forever. So all beings exist through the reciprocal relationship between their dual characteristics of internal nature and external form. So, my brothers and sisters, am I living a life of dual characteristics? Since all beings are in a relationship of dual characteristics with me, or you are me and I am you, relationship of dual characteristics must be formed. So my relationship with God, relationship of dual characteristics. Do you have the the relationship of dual characteristics with God? It means, do you have inseparable relationship with God? Not just only externally, internally, and artistically, do you have the dual characteristics of relationship with God? It means, do you have inseparable relationship with God? That's why I really love the principle dual characteristics. This is my most favorite divine principle content. God is the root of my life, a love and heart and blood lineage. God is my eternal true teacher. He is my eternal true parents. He is my eternal owner or master. Cannot separate. Inseparable relationship. If I go to hell of the hell, nobody follow me. Even maybe my physical father and mother, even my spouse and children cannot follow me. But only one person follow me. Stay with me forever. Because of what? Because of the dual characteristics. The relationship of the dual characteristics cannot separate mind and body. Cannot separate between God and me. God is the root of my life. God is the root of my heart and my blood lineage. He is my eternal daddy. Maybe for the time being, you do not believe in God, you do not trust God, do not accept He's your father, but someday, this is eternal truth. Someday, maybe someone 1,000 years later, someone 6,000 years later, someday in your life of the eternity, someday, definitely you realize that God is my eternal daddy. God is my eternal parents. He is my eternal teacher. Always guide me through my conscience. Every second, every time. When I do something wrong, and they immediately tell me through my conscience, God appear, please don't go that way. Not only that, He is my eternal owner. He asked me responsible for. Wow, this is the fundamental truth. What is the truth of the truth? What is the fundamental truth? Between God and me, parent and child relationship. What does a parent and child relationship means? Inseparable relationship. According to terminology of divine principle word, the relationship of dual characteristics cannot separate. Then we need to reflect on ourselves. Do I have that kind of the dual characteristic relationship with God or not? Do I have really that kind of the inseparable relationship with God or not? The principle of dual characteristic, not just kinds, looks like a kind of the word of the like a philosophy. No. Very much relate to my daily life. My relationship with other people. Relationship of dual characteristics. I must form brother and sister relationship with everybody I meet. Whoever it may be, I should serve him or her as a saint like I serve God. So I need to build up the relationship with my brothers and sisters as the relationship of the dual characteristics. I need to create inseparable relationship with my brothers and sisters while I'm on the earth. Do you have the relationship of dual characteristics with your spouse, with your wife, with your husband? Really, your relationship with your spouse kind of the inseparable relationship, which is the relationship of the dual characteristics? What do you think? Why the rate of the divorce and separation getting higher and higher and higher and increasing and increasing? They do not know the relationship between husband and wife originally, according to God's point of view, according to divine principle point of view, should be the relationship of dual characteristics. inseparable relationship. When you go to spiritual world, who live with you forever beside you? Not your physical father and mother, not your physical brothers and sisters, not even your own children. Who living with me as a pair forever? Who is that? Your spouse. Your spouse. That's why structure of the kingdom of heaven is what? Structure of the pair system. This is an eternal truth. That's why you need to build up the relationship with your spouse as the relationship of the dual characteristics, which is what? Inseparable relationship. Not only with your wife, with your brothers and sisters, with your children as well, with your neighbor as well. That's why whenever I meet someone, whenever I relate to with me somebody, even your neighbor, anyone you meet, you need to form the relationship of the dual characteristics. Inseparable relationship. Cannot forget you. Because I am so indebted to you. I cannot forget you in my life. I cannot forget because you are my father, because you are mother, you are because of my able, because you are my own brothers and sisters. I walk together with you in my entire life forever. I cannot forget you. We need to build up that kind of the relationship of the dual characteristics. My relationship with the universe, relationship of the dual characteristics. Since the universe is a museum of love that completes my emotion and a symbolic substantial object partner that resembles God. Whenever I deal with the universe, I must treat it as a holy things, as I treat God's body. Each item of all things I need to treat as a holy item. You need to build up that kind of the relationship of dual characteristics with all things. When you buy your house, you need to love your house. When you enter your room, you need to love your room. When you touch anything of the item of all things, you need to build up the relationship of the dual characteristics, which is inseparable relationship. Wow, what I learned from True Father was the life of dual characteristics. Because of this content, I joined our Unification Church. I am so inspired. The relationship between God and me, inseparable. The relationship of dual characteristics cannot separate forever because He is my daddy. No matter what, I am son of God. I am really extremely grateful to our true parents. He is the one teaching me this principle. Your relationship should be the relationship of dual characteristics with God. Inseparable. Mind and body, we cannot separate. Between husband and wife originally cannot separate. Between parents and children originally cannot separate. Wow! This is a fundamental truth. Which religion teaches us in such details? I think no one else. Only divine principle teach us very clearly. Many people struggle to learn about the principle of dual characteristics. What these kind of things? How they relate to me? But today I explain to you how much powerful it is. today's youth ministry, Jacob's curse. In the end, the one who serves will fulfill the superior person's mission. Jacob who fulfilled the mission of the firstborn. If Esau and Jacob had become one centered on their mother, history would have been different. However, Jacob valued his mother and established his faith. But he was in conflict with his older brother. In this way, centered on one mother, we see the relationship of conflict between them. Even our lives centering on one able, one central figure, we become neighbors, brothers, and enemies. If Jacob and Esau did not have the same parents, there is no possibility for them to have an enemy relationship. However, even though they have the same parents, they become enemies. If they have different heart, even brothers and sisters in the same family become enemies if they have the different idea and principles. So who did Jesus call who is my brothers and sisters? Those who follow God's will, they are my brothers and sisters. That's why even though we physically, you are my father, you are my mother, you are my own brothers and sisters, you are my own children, my dear brothers and sisters. However, even though same family member, different thought, different understanding, different direction, then centering on God's point of view, they are your enemy. That's why how to unite together. We need to really properly guide them. Fundamental truths. Just now I mentioned that. Who is God? Who is God? Everybody notice the identity of the God. And then identity of my own self. Everybody can come together, unite together. That's why only divine principle is the best way to unite together. In the end, the one who serves will fulfill the superior person's mission. Jacob served his brother Esau well. The fact that the younger brother Jacob served his older brother Esau well means that Jacob fulfilled the elder son's mission. Even though he was in the position of the younger brother, in the end, the one who serves will fulfill the mission of the superior person. Parents fulfill their mission as parents through giving birth to children, sacrificing for and running errands for their children. The fact that Jacob served his older brother Esau, even though he was in the position of his younger brother, means that the younger brother Jacob fulfilled the elder son's mission. From this point of view, it means that those who are served by others will eventually lose their blessings. This is the power of serving. If you have a humble heart and serve someone, actually you can get everything. You can inherit everything with your humble heart. And serving someone does not matter. Someone position higher than you, physically older than you, and then in your job place, he's like kind of the superior than you. Does not matter. Finally, who win in the end? Who win? Who win? The one who serves will fulfill the mission of the superior person. That is the power of serving. Do you know how to conquer God's heart? Do you know how to conquer true parents' heart? Do you know how to conquer your Abel's heart? Do you know how to conquer your kids' heart? What's the best method? Serving with a humble heart. Nobody defeated that guy. That's why Jesus came as the Messiah. Even though he came as the Messiah, he said, I came to serve, not to be served. Wow. That's why he inherited God's heart. That's why he conquered the heart of all mankind. This is the power of serving. Ultimately, those who serve, those who truly take care of others, inherit everything. If you think about it from the Cain type point of view, it can be seen as the one who serves takes everything away. We see that if we don't give thanks after receiving gift from someone, we end up losing the relationship. You have to give thanks one by one to the people who send you gift. But the more important the responsibility you have, the more difficult it is to such things. As a result, all relationships come to an end. That's why my position as a continental director, our brothers and sisters sending some gift, this and that letter. Sometimes I cannot understand what they're talking about, even though I read the content many, many times. So I try to reply to each one of them. Sometimes I might, because so many things come from all over the world. What can I do? At least I need to pray for them. At least I need to appreciate them. Can you imagine, to send one letter, need to buy paper, card, and then prepare their heart to write down. It takes sometimes 10 minutes, sometimes 20 minutes. Can you imagine their effort, their 정성? If I ignore their 정성, I lose everything. That's why even though I try to reply to them, try to call them, but more and more my job is busier. But at least, even though I cannot reply to them immediately, I need to pray. I need to appreciate that. That's why relationship is very important. If you do not reply, you lose your relationship. You do not appreciate, you will lose your relationship. For example, a husband who owes too much love to his wife loses his place as her husband. Also, if a wife owes her husband a debt of love, she loses her position. If you are indebted in love, you lose your place. That's why even a relationship between husband and wife have to be careful. Oh, my husband love me, and then take it for granted. You do not give it back to your husband. Finally, the relationship, you will lose the relationship. That's why when you receive something from your spouse, you need to return more than your spouse will love you. Otherwise, cannot maintain relationship between husband and wife. Give and receive. Understand what I mean? When you receive, you need to give back more. And then the other side want to give back more. This is the reason how can keep the relationship continuously. Therefore, do not owe love. Therefore, do not owe love. Therefore, do not owe love. Because a person who is always indebted to love will deviate from their position. There's a possibility of being abandoned if things go wrong. Those who owe love like this will one day lose their place. This is absolute rule or principle. Therefore, even couples should not owe love them. Therefore, we must live by the rule of not being indebted to others. You must live with the principle that if you are indebted, you must pay it back. If you have been indebted, you must return it. If this principle of giving and receiving does not go well, all human relationships will come to an end. Sometimes, okay, between husband and wife, okay, but your relationship with your neighbor, with someone really give you a lot of things to you, but sometimes no opportunity, you don't have time to give back to that person, then you need to love your neighbor who relate to you. And then instead of that, you need to love your next person. Don't just like to receive something. Do not take it for granted. Know that if you do not return it with adding more to it, your heavenly fortune will be slanted along the way. Surely decline. That's why giving also important, receiving also important. Giving and receiving, giving and receiving. I need to give more, then I can get more. You know, I always saying that when you breathe, put it in and put it out. Only put it out. No, put it in, you will die. Surely you will die. That's why need to give and receive. Of course, when you give it, do not think selfishly. Completely forget. Just purely give. And then you can receive, purely you receive. That is the universal principle. Jacob, he really practiced this way. We can learn Jacob's life course. Thank you very much.
Dr. Young, for wow, this is very deep, Dr. Young. I really appreciate sharing about the importance of dual characteristics, but also to the importance of serving others, to be able to inherit that first blessing. Brothers and sisters, let's spend the next few minutes reflecting on today's morning devotion, as well as sharing with each other anything that stood out to us. If you're by yourself, just take this moment to reflect on what you gained. We'll see you all in 7 minutes. Welcome, everyone. Hope you had a wonderful sharing in your breakouts. I had the opportunity to be with Borni Mubuso and Koa. I'd like to call on Koa Shiratori to share with us a reflection from today's morning devotion.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Koa! I miss you, Koa!
I miss you so much too, Dr. Young. I miss you being in Sub-Region 4. Thank you so much. It's nice to see you strong and healthy. I know it must be so hard, but appreciate your leadership always. Yeah. We were talking in the breakout room, and it was very interesting because the point I was thinking about, Uncle's daughter was there, Sipo, who was at Camp Lone Star, and this is kind of what I was thinking of. So the point I shared about was, in the end, the one who serves will fulfill the superior person's mission. But I guess just like what I've experienced, a lot of the times, younger siblings in the church have been my leaders. At Camp Lone Star, there's so many incredible young leaders there, the core staff, the corgis, shout out to them. They always put on an incredible summer camp for the second gen in our community. And most of them are younger. I'm sorry, most of them are younger than me. And I've gained so much. I'm always so impressed by how much heart they put into serving. Even they take care of me. And I've learned so much from them. And just what we were talking about was that really it's not who's older or who's more experienced, but it's God always looks at who has the heart to serve. And if that always wins, or like that always is what God looks for, is who has the biggest heart. And so I really appreciate those people that have helped me and helped me grow, and just to look by their example. And so I love that point that you shared today, Dr.
Thank you, Koa. 감사합니다.
Thank you.
Koa, for sharing and your excitement as always. Next, I'd like to call on Reverend Maurice Lawrence. Reverend Maurice Lawrence to share with us his reflection from today's morning devotion.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much, Dr. Young. I'm so touched when you basically talk about our relationships. You know, my mind has always been never to be in debt externally to anyone. I don't owe any human being. So that's been my life journey. But I never thought about being in debt internally. I love debt, and it's the biggest situation because it's dealing with our internal. And so when Dr. Young talked about really being in debt, it basically made me really think back to my life, how I treated those basically most connected to me, my spouse, because my spouse, it says, love your enemy, and your biggest enemy will be your spouse, because they know everything about you and you know everything about them, and we're trying to make each other perfected, and it become a battle. And so when you think about just really God-given direction, Jesus' direction to, man ought to always pray. And through always praying, having that reciprocal relationship with God and having that dual characteristic with him, and then we'll basically be mindful of that love that's been given to us, not to take it for granted. But we take it for granted, especially when you have your spouse or your brothers and sisters, because that it's normal to just overlook each other. So just learning to be careful and mindful of everybody, our able figure, because they giving so much and we always trying to take instead of giving. So if we learn to just always pray, we'll be mindful of how we treat others. So thank y'all very much.
Wow, thank you, Maurice and Lawrence. Very powerful your experience sharing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Your Maurice, for your reflection. Our friends and sisters, on to our announcement. If you're feeling inspired, if you learned anything from today, or you feel like you want to share it, feel free to share about it. You can direct people to edu.familyfed.org, where you have everything morning devotion. All our past morning devotion posts are there, various different languages, as well as the Zoom link to be able to join in this live morning devotion experience. Just scroll to the bottom and it's edu.familyfed.org. Also, if you turn your attention to the chat, you should see a link to donate to support morning devotion ministries. It helps run it, the tech team in the back who are sharing it with people all around the world. And also, if you're watching online on Facebook or YouTube, you can just go to the description. There should be a link there for you to be able to donate to morning devotion. And now on to our musical offering. I believe it's our brother who has, you hear his wife talk and read morning devotion every morning. It's our beloved Steve Honey.
Hey, good morning, Dr. Young. Thank you for another wonderful message, and we're all grateful.
Steve Honey, finally, great, thank you.
We're all grateful that your health is getting better. We were worried about you, but you sound good now, so I think you're in good shape.
I'm completely recovered.
Great, good news, good news. That can be a point of gratitude for all of us today. Good morning, brothers and sisters. This is a song from Hillsong. We've heard it before, also to praise God. Please enjoy. Hide me now under your wings. Cover me within your mighty hand. When the oceans rise and thunders roar, I will soar with you above the storm. Father, you are king over the flood. I will be still and know you are God. Find rest, my soul, in Christ alone. Know His power in quietness and trust. When the oceans rise and thunders roar, I will rise with you above the storm. Father, you are king over the flood. I will be still and know you are God. When the oceans rise and thunders roar, I will rise with you above the storm. Father, you are king over the flood. I will be still and know you are God. Find rest, my soul, in Christ alone. Know His power in quietness and trust. When the oceans rise and thunders roar, I will rise with you above the storm. Father, you are king over the flood. I will be still, and you are my God. When the oceans rise and thunders roar, I will rise with you above the storm. Father, you are king over the flood. I will be still and know you are God. I will be still and know you are my God. Wow, my goodness, thank you, our heavenly honey. 감사합니다. Where's your wife?
Oh, here.
Oh, need to kiss each other.
Okay.
Hey.
Finale.
Yeah. Dual characteristics relationship. Okay? Dual characteristics, inseparable. Thank you. God bless you. Wow, you always make us so incredible joy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Uncle Steve. And of course,
Today,
thank you.
our the John Coakley coming back to New York from the Kenya. I'm so happy. Maybe I need to see him. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Uncle Steve. Thank you, Heavenly Honey, for, of course, your dedication to morning devotion every single morning. Of course, welcome back, John. Hope you have a wonderful, a safe flight back to New York. All right, on to our closing prayer. I see our legend in New York, Reverend Edner. If you could please close us off in prayer.
Thank you. Let us bow our heads, brothers and sisters.
Wow, Reverend Edna.
We give thanks. We give thanks this morning to you, Heavenly Parent, true parents of heaven and earth. We give thanks that we can receive such in-depth education in the divine principle. We look forward each and every day to contemplate, to receive, and to digest these words, and most importantly, to put them in application in our life, in our relationships within family, in our relationships with brothers and sisters, with our outreach contacts, with each and every person. We wish to see your presence in them, and so give them the love that is so required, that is so essential, so necessary for our growth, for our development and relationship with you. So in gratitude to you this morning, we are again deeply grateful for Dr. Young for investing so much in us that we in turn might gain strength, might gain spiritual wisdom, might gain practical understanding to put this divine principle that we have been studying, God knows, you know, for so many years. We can finally begin to practice it as it ought to be practiced. So we're grateful and thankful this morning, each and every day, as you feed us first in spiritual food. We give thanks, lift these words up and place them on your altar of grace as we offer it in our names as blessed central families. And in my name, Edna Pierre-Louis, Juanita and Jude Pierre-Louis of the Pierre-Louis Blessed Central Family, I report these words to you. Aju.
Aju, thank you, Reverend Edna Lewis. I miss you so much.
Too, thank you.
So let's have one meal one day. Thank you.
Yes.
And with Juanita, thank you for your beautiful prayer. 감사합니다.
Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Edner, for closing us out in such a beautiful prayer. Brothers and sisters, this about concludes today's morning devotion. Thank you for joining. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye, everyone.
Hey, happy Sunday! Happy Sunday, my dear brothers and sisters. I love you.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, Dr. Young.